everyone, my name is Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. As you can see from the title of this video, I decided to film my February TBR, which is actually really ambitious, but that is because I am participating in 2 readathons during this month. So I'm going to get into this a little bit later, but I am participating in both the Booktube games, which is hosted by Mayana from Mayana Reads here on Booktube, or I think she's now known as Little Wolf Reads. I will definitely link all of these channels that I mention below or above. And then the second readathon that I am participating in is the Contemporary-a-thon, which is hosted by Chelsea from Chelsea Darling Reads, as well as some other booktubers. But I am going to cover those 2 readathons later in this video, but first I wanted to talk about the books that I just wanted to read in the month of February just for myself, not necessarily for any readathon. So the first book that I definitely want to get done in the month of February is The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. Now, I am an avid lover of the Hulu series that is based on this book. It's just such an artfully done TV series, and the acting is just phenomenal. It's just such a hard-hitting series, and so I knew that when I got back into reading that I really needed to check out the source material. But yeah, I'm really excited about this one. I actually didn't realize that this one was written back in like the 80s. I believe it was published in 1984. For some reason I thought that this was a much more recent book, I guess because the Hulu show came out in I think 2016 or 2015. But yeah, I'm just really excited to check this one out. This is also something that I picked out of my TBR jar, which is just a jar of books that are on my physical TBR, and this book ended up being one of those picks, so I'm super excited to check this one out. The next book I want to read this month is The Giver by Lois Lowry. This is a book that I'm sure, like many of you, I read when I was in middle school. I think I was in 7th grade when I read this. And so since I haven't read it since then, I really wanted to give this a reread. And I really like this new cover. I had the old cover in my possession, but I recently unhauled that one. And so when I saw this cover at Barnes & Noble, I just couldn't resist. I'm interested to see what I think of this book now that I am an adult, and really to just see if this kind of holds up with the test of time. The next book that I am stoked to get to this month is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. As I'm sure many of you know, this is the first book in the Shadow and Bone trilogy, or the Grisha trilogy, and mainly the reason why I wanted to check this out is that it was recently announced that Netflix is going to be producing a TV show of basically the Shadow and Bone trilogy and the Six of Crows duology, both by Leigh Bardugo. So basically book Twitter blew up once that news was announced. And it's been really interesting to see different people going on to Twitter and talking about the different characters, ones they like, ones they don't like so much. And this series tends to be kind of problematic, I think. And so I'm just kind of interested to see what the fuss is all about. And I also just kind of want to be able to join the conversation. So yeah, I'm super stoked to finally check out this series, and this cover is just gorgeous. The next book I am definitely going to be reading this month is Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare. I can't believe that I am finally here. I am finally getting to the very last book that we have of the Shadowhunter Chronicles as of now. I've really enjoyed both Lady Midnight and Lord of Shadows, which are the first 2 books in the Dark Artifices trilogy, and this book also seems to be kind of polarizing. Some people have been loving it and some people have felt kind of disappointed by it, so I'm very interested to see where I fall on that spectrum. But yeah, I'm just super stoked, and I know this is also going to take me like 84 years to finish because it is giant. This is like 900 pages. And I also just wanted to quickly add that mine is signed and personalized because I actually took part in the virtual signing that Good Choice Reading did. And so yeah, I'm super pumped that I was able to get a personalized copy of this massive book. And the next book that I'm super stoked to get to is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. So I am actually right now participating in a read-along with some friends that I've made on book Twitter of the entire Throne of Glass series. So this past month of January, we actually read The Assassin's Blade, which is a bind-up of prequel novellas to the Throne of Glass series. I will definitely cover my thoughts on that book in my January wrap-up. So we are planning on reading 1 book of the series per month, so we are hoping to finish the entire series by about August. I'm just super pumped to get into this series. I can already tell that I really enjoy Sarah J. Maas's writing, and I don't have a lot of experience reading high fantasy, so I think this series, being that it is YA, is a good sort of vehicle to get into that genre. I know that I love urban fantasy, but I haven't really given myself a chance to get into high fantasy. So now I want to get into the 2 readathons that I am participating in. The first one, like I said earlier, is the Booktube games, which is hosted by Mayana from Little Wolf Reads. I don't know, this is going to be kind of weird for me to explain, so just bear with me here. But essentially, Mayana has come up with a system of having teams, and each team name is named after like a fictional place. So I am part of Team Hogwarts, which everybody knows what Hogwarts is. I think there's Team Ketterdam, which I believe is from Six of Crows. I haven't read those books yet, as you could tell from earlier, because I'm just getting to Shadow and Bone. I think there's Team Neverland, and there's a few other teams. I think there's 6 teams total, and you can pick whatever team you want to be a part of. I think all you have to do is before February 1st, you have to fill out a form that is on Twitter. The Booktube Games has their own Twitter account, so I will also make sure to link that down below so you can access that form. And yeah, so you just decide what team you want to be a part of, fill out that form, and then there is an app that we've all been using to communicate with one another about the Booktube games. And there are 4 challenges for these games, so I'm going to be looking at my reading bullet journal to make sure I have everything right. So the first challenge is to read the group book, and so essentially what that means is that each of these 6 groups has picked a different book to read for the month. So the book that Team Hogwarts has chosen to read is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, which worked out perfectly because I've been wanting to read this for a really long time, and so this just gives me the excuse to do it. And so essentially with that challenge of reading the book group, if you read it in the designated week, I think the book group challenge is from February 1st to the 8th. If you read it in that time period, basically your page count counts double. So this book has about like 500 pages, I think, or 400 and something pages. And so if you read this in the designated week, you will actually be counted for about 900 to 1,000 pages. So twice the pages. And essentially how this challenge is working is that basically we're trying to see which team can read the most pages, not the most books, but the most pages. So page counts are really important here. So if you can double your page count for your first book of the month, you're already well ahead of other readers. And then the next challenge is a 24-hour readathon, which that challenge is worth 100 pages, and it is taking place from February 16th to the 22nd. And so what I'm planning to do, I'm planning on filming and uploading my own 24-hour readathon. I'm really super stoked about finally doing a 24-hour readathon. I think it won't be a problem for me at all, honestly, because I am a night owl and I will just read as much as I allow myself to. Yeah, super stoked about that challenge. We do have other challenges that I don't think I'm personally going to be participating in just because they don't really appeal to me, and honestly, all of these challenges are optional. You don't really have to do them if you don't want to. I'm so excited that Mayana decided to do this. I think this is going to be a lot of fun, and it's definitely going to bring out quite the competitiveness of different readers. But it's also going to be really fun, and I've already had so much fun chatting with the different readers on Team Hogwarts. We've had so much fun kind of coordinating what books we want to read, chatting about Strange the Dreamer because that is the group book and we are pretty much all planning on reading it. So yeah, I think it's just going to be a really good time, and I'm really excited that this is going to be my first ever readathon that I'm participating in. And then the second readathon that I am participating in is the Contemporary-a-thon, which is run by Chelsea from Chelsea Darling Reads, as well as a few other booktubers. I will be sure to link their info down below. But they announced that the Contemporary-a-thon is going to take place from February 11th to the 17th, and that there is going to be a live show February 16th, I think, on Chelsea's Booktube channel. And so I'm gonna kind of quickly run through the challenges and the different books that I picked for each challenge. So the first challenge is your most recent contemporary purchase. And I very recently placed a book outlet order of about 8 or 9 books. I was kind of able to choose which book of those books that I really wanted to read for this one. So for this challenge, I'm going with Stargirl by Jerry Spinelli. This is a book that I've wanted to read for years and years, and I just have never gotten to it. And I was finally able to pick this up for like $4 from Book Outlet, and it's really short, which is really good because for this readathon, I really wanted to try my best to pick shorter books because I've never really put myself under any type of time constraint with reading a certain number of books. So for my first Contemporary-a-thon, I really wanted to try to pick shorter contemporary novels. So yeah, super excited to read this one. The next challenge is a book with blurple somewhere on the cover. So that could either be the color blue or the color purple, but I actually found the perfect shade of blurple, so a mix between blue and purple, on one of the covers of a contemporary that I have been super excited to read, and that is Autobiography by Christina Lauren. If that's not blurple, I don't know what is. But yeah, so many people have been going on about this book on Booktube, and I think I recently picked this one up from either Book Outlet or Book Depository for a really cheap price. Yeah, this one is fulfilling the challenge for having the color blurple somewhere on the cover. Then we have challenge 3 is a diverse contemporary, and for this one I'm going with Dear Martin by Nick Stone. This is a book that I've wanted to read for such a long time. I've heard such good things about, and this is also another short contemporary, so I don't think I'll have any problem reading it in the time allotted. The next challenge is a dark / emotional / hard-hitting read, and for that one I am choosing Letters to the Lost by Bridget Kemmerer. Another book that I've heard really great things about. I know that this one's really emotional because it's about this main character is drowning in grief after her mother's death, and then the other main character is trying to escape the demons from his past. I think it has to do with like writing letters back and forth between the two main characters and just kind of dealing with their different grief. And then we do have 3 other challenges that I'm going to start doubling up books for, because I didn't want to pressure myself to read more than 3 or 4 books in a week. The next challenge is Book You Meant to Read Last Year, and I'm going to double that one up with Dear Martin because I really have been wanting to read that one for a long time. And then the next one is a book in a non-traditional format. I think I'm gonna go with an audiobook for that one, and I might end up tripling up on a challenge by listening to the audiobook for Dear Martin. And then the last challenge is Picture on the Spine. For that one I am doubling up with Autobiography because on the spine there is a picture of like a suburban cityscape. So yeah, I'm super excited about participating in the Contemporary-a-thon as well as the Booktube game. Like I said, all of the information for both readathons will be listed down below, and I'm just super pumped to be reading all of these books this month. I know this is a very ambitious TBR, but for someone who reads between 15 to 20 books per month, that is very doable, so I'm really, really pumped. And that is it for this video, guys. I hope you all enjoyed, and I would love you guys to comment below if you are participating in any readathons this month, or if you are reading any of the books that I'm reading this month. Also, please let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video, you guys. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you would all consider subscribing, and don't forget to press that notification bell button below so that you will be notified every time I upload. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye! Time for a thumbnail, yeah.